patrons. We're back into the Fosse Verdon land. Sorry we missed last week. Andrew is a piece of shit. That's all we gotta say.
Yep.
Andrew had to pre-game drink
shit.
for the debate, so he was just that busy.
On the real, though, I am just that busy, and I'm sorry.
But I think we also gave you the Oliver and Company commentary that week, so you got some content. There wasn't a week without patron-only content.
We're doing it. We're gonna give you more shit.
We are. Andrew just needs to get his shit together.
If I don't keel over dead very soon, we're gonna give you more stuff.
Yeah, those are the only two choices. So Andrew, we're on Fosse Verdon number 6. We got 2 episodes left.
Lenny Bruce, baby.
Lenny Bruce, Langston Hughes.
I have never watched anything from Lenny Bruce. I don't think I know any comedy from Lenny Bruce.
He just is vulgar, very, very vulgar.
Is he the guy with the words you can't say on TV?
No, that's George Carlin.
Is George Carlin is like his successor, right?
In a way, early on it seemed that way, but George Carlin developed his own style. In the early days,
George Carlin moved past just saying naughty words.
Well, George Carlin used naughty words to kind of make a point, but a lot of George Carlin's early stuff was stoner humor. Was like, man, you ever think about this? Why can't you say these words, man?
Bro, it's crazy. You can't say words.
But then his wife died, and he became a very angry comedian. And he became like, I want to fucking murder everyone that's named Todd.
Have you ever walked into a room and you just wanted to kill everyone you met? Everyone. I want to kill everyone.
There's only been one.
I'm a stand-up comic. I can be a stand-up
comic. There's only been one George Carlin bit that has ever been pulled and that he's ever pulled. It was a bit that he says, I like it when a lot of people die all at once. And then 9/11 happened. So he had to pull that bit.
He had to pull the bit because he didn't want to show his cards too soon.
He's like, whenever I watch the news and I hear a big explosion happen, he's like, come on, body count.
Oh, body count. I hope it's 3,000 or so.
Honestly, that was the bit. And it was funny.
That's the bit.
And it was funny because the 90s, you were kind of allowed to be that exaggeratingly nihilistic. It's one of those things you have to take the time.
It's coming back, baby. It's coming back.
It isn't, though.
Well, I want it to come back because I'm tired of not being allowed to be exaggeratingly nihilistic.
I mean,
it's very hard to not be that right now.
Let's talk about Fosse Verdon, then we'll be exaggeratingly nihilistic. So what happens in this episode? Andrew, does having a heart attack ever look this fun?
Having a heart attack has never been more fun. Yeah, so he has a heart attack and he spends most of the episode in the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
So not a huge amount of stuff happens, but we get a lot of depressing backstory and current story, and we get to hate every character on the show a little bit more.
Okay, explain that, please. Because I thought that Gwen used a lot of her...
Namely the 2 leads.
Okay.
Fosse and Verdon, I think both are awful people.
Explain them both, please. What did they do that pissed you off so badly to call them awful people?
Well, Bob Fosse is just kind of a bad person overall, but he kind of I don't know. It's a little bit sexual harassy.
Just a little bit?
There's a lot of bit sexual harassy in the hospital. It doesn't seem like one of them wants to participate as much as the other one does.
Are you talking about the sex scene?
I am.
Okay.
But I think there's other shit.
Do you think that is something that really happened or a TV show creation?
Well, that doesn't really matter in the context of this discussion.
I'm just curious what you think.
As far as the actual person, I have no idea. I don't know if that happened. I have no clue.
It 100% happened because Bob Fosse was worried after his surgery he wouldn't ever be able to have sex again because apparently that was a possible side effect of the surgery. So, much more consensually, he and his lady, I'm forgetting her name. Goddamn, I forgot her name last time too. Anne Reinking did have sex in the hospital, and he cried afterwards because he was just so happy he would still be able to have sex.
What a guy!
What a man! I know.
You know what? If something's important to you, it's important, and you can't judge him for that.
I mean, I can, but
yeah, but it's a little rude to do so, Jess, is all I'm trying to say.
Now, why do you hate Verdon in this episode? What did Gwen Verdon do so badly that Andrew DeWolf thinks he's better than her?
Okay, well, I don't know if I'm better than her. I never said I was a good person.
Can you dance? Can you dance, Andrew?
I can dance. I'm a great dancer.
He actually is.
And apparently our fans think I'm buff as hell, so...
Andrew is actually a snack. He is a beautiful man, and I am jealous of how gorgeous he is.
I'm ripped. And I'm gorgeous.
He's got an 8-pack.
And I have a 9-pack, actually. There's just one extra one in the middle. It's weird.
It's repulsive, actually. I want it removed, but it's just there because I'm just that muscular.
I'm so buff, but I wasn't buff enough to get a 10. Okay. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. She kind of, like, tells Anne to go away just because she's worried about her play falling apart, or her musical falling apart, pardon me. So that's a little bit rude, and it seems like she doesn't... it's hard to really tell if she actually gives a shit about Bob or not.
It is, but she also uses it to the advantage. It shows how well they work together. Like, it lends back to that first episode when you see them working at Sweet Charity together and Cabaret together. Like, once again, like, she uses her ability to kind of play a room to get him into his own private hospital room and all that.
Yeah. Which is fine. It's just I don't like that she's being very self-centered as far as his health goes. It's clear she doesn't really care about his health so much as she cares about getting her musical back up and running as soon as possible.
But the thing is,
she's
like,
also doesn't want to replace him because she's worried that no one else will allow her to be in the show.
Yeah, that's a fair point, and it's not an incorrect point either.
So I don't know, unlikable-ish to me.
But then again, that's showbiz, baby.
That's showbiz, baby.
Oh.
Speaking of showbiz, baby, what do you think of the child labor scenes?
They're fucked up.
Child labor is very fun.
They're fucked up to read about it in the book. They're fucked up to watch and all that jazz, and in this movie, it's weird. Depressing.
Yeah. How much do you think that formulated his outlook on everything?
I feel like, yeah, trauma in your childhood can affect who you become in a lot of your behaviors, but I feel like a lot of people use that as an easy scapegoat to be an intentionally shitty person. And I feel like Bob Fosse leaned into that a lot as to, I'm shitty because I was raised weird, and I had to do these things, and I was around titties all the time.
Yeah. How much of that do you think is true, though? Like, was he actually shitty because of that? Although, if he's recognizing that he's shitty, that kind of says to me that he probably could change his ways.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yes.
It's like, okay, well, it's not like you're just doing these things and you don't even realize that it's bad. It's like you're saying that it's bad and that you do it because of this.
Well, Fosse was with a lot of women in long-term relationships, and they're like, fine, I'll do it if you just stay with me. I don't want you to... I will dedicate to you if you dedicate to me. And he's like, nope, that's not how it's going to work. Sorry.
He was like a open relationship guy, but like open for only him.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is like, that's just called an asshole. Yeah. That's just you being an asshole.
That's Joss Whedon.
Ooh, is that really?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, I did not know that.
Joss Whedon's a piece of shit.
I think the stand-up comedy stuff is funny. Seeing how he's telling his life story as like a joke and no one thinks it's funny because it's not. It's kind of a good framing.
I mean, that's like Lenny Bruce to a T.
But people thought Lenny Bruce was funny, didn't they?
Kind of. He was like a Bill Hicks type where he was more angry than funny.
I get you.
Did you ever watch any Bill Hicks growing up?
Like minimal.
The thing is, he never really had any good stand-up recordings. Like, all his best stuff was, like, bootlegs.
I've never seen any Lenny Bruce, so I have no idea how accurate.
And I haven't seen the movie Lenny either.
So you don't even know if it's accurate to how he portrayed Lenny Bruce.
No.
So
I know that Lenny wasn't really well received, though.
Well, based on how he's trying to make it and the fact that it's pretty obviously he's trying to turn it into like his own self-insert project.
I mean, everything he does eventually becomes a self-insert project. I didn't bring this up when we talked about Cabaret, and I regret that. But did you know that when he was shooting Cabaret, he wanted to get rid of Joel Grey as the MC because he wanted to play the MC? And he basically told the studio, it's like, it's either Joel Grey goes or I go. And they're like, fine, you go. And he's like, oh, okay, nope, okay.
Studio's like, yeah, we're gonna call your bluff right here, actually. Yeah, you go.
And it would have been so much a much worse movie if anyone but Joel Grey had played the MC, especially if Bob Fosse had played it, because Bob Fosse is a weird-looking, bearded, creepy man.
Yeah. Like, it seems like a lot of stuff. I wonder how many projects he really just tried to insert himself into, like, literally insert himself into.
All
like,
That Jazz, I think, is the most successfully he's done it.
Well, he doesn't play himself in that, though.
No.
Like, I'm saying, like, how many because we've already learned about, like, 2 projects that he got upset about and wanted to actually play a character in.
Yeah, you're right.
So, like, how many projects has he, like, literally gotten mad and is like, fire this actress or actor, and I'm playing this character?
I don't know how big someone's ego has to be where they're like, I am the only choice for this.
Yeah.
Like, you're a director. Well, be happy to have that part.
Well, he's a dancer. He wants to be a dancer.
Well, he's got the pain when he does the mambo.
That's true. Holy shizy. All right. That's honestly the most I've got to say about that episode. It was a deep episode as far as, like, getting some backstory and stuff,
right.
But it doesn't really progress much. I feel like it's all kind of leading up to Chicago at this point, although I could be wrong.
It's a stressful episode where it's like, and it's very important. Like, we see, this is basically, along with the next episode, is basically what we see in the film All That Jazz, which will be our big finale to the Fosse Verdon world.
Yeah. Well.
So, speaking of saying a bunch of nonsense on stage...
That being said, I think we have to say something about what's going on.
It's a fucked up world we're living in. Andrew, how was your Sunday or Tuesday night?
Well, I got home late and tuned in to, like, the last hour of the debate, which I think was, like, the worst shit show hour.
Yeah, the first half hour, it's like, oh, this might be fine, and then it wasn't. It wasn't.
Yeah, it's like it's kind of sad that the best parts of the debate was when Biden told him to shut the fuck up.
The thing is, Biden actually had numbers on his side. He had things to pitch. He had ideas he wanted to say, and, like, plans and infrastructure for how he wanted to say them. But the thing is, you had 3 white men talking over each other, and no one could understand what the fuck anyone was saying.
What I'm wondering is, what the fuck was Trump's strategy going into that?
Doing what he did in 2016 with Hillary.
Yeah, but that doesn't work anymore.
Well, he doesn't know that. I feel like Trump has a one-track mind of sorts.
You think that's kind of his only strategy?
Yeah,
and he's got nothing
even
else?
last time he didn't do very well in the debates. No one thought he did well in the debates, Republican or Democrat side.
It's true, but I really feel like it's different this time. He's doing a lot worse in the polls than he did even in 2016.
The thing is, you can't trust the polls.
You can't trust them, no. I will say that there has been reporting that there's a shit ton more early voting going on than
I voted already
in 2016. Yeah, so, like, how many people have already voted? I'm planning on early voting as well. I'm planning.
And New York,
my state doesn't do it as early. The first date I could do it, I think, is next Saturday, but I'm going on the 24th because I'm not free next Saturday. But I'm going to be going early.
And we recommend any of you listening. I mean, you're supporting Musicals with Cheese. I'm willing to bet you are either too young to vote or already voted.
Guys, go vote.
I'm scared. I'm fucking scared.
Okay, you know, when you this guy, he doesn't even, like, his rhetoric has only gotten more and more intense since 2016.
He won't even.
And you can say, like, all of the signs were there in 2016, and some people missed it. I will admit that I missed it in 2016. It's not missable anymore. There is no doubt in my mind whatsoever what this person wants, and we need him gone now.
But let's talk about the hypothetical situation. If Biden wins landslide-wise, let's just say that happens, and Trump refuses to accept it. What the fuck happens then? What do we do?
Okay, I do not believe that he will be able to stay.
I'm worried about violence on the streets.
Oh, there will be violence on the streets either way. As far as I'm aware, I mean, what does he mean by Proud Boys stand by?
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Well, that wasn't even the most horrifying thing that I heard that night, to be honest. That was...
Oh, no. The most horrifying thing I heard that night was him encouraging people to go poll watch.
That is 100% what I was going to bring up. That was...
fucking illegal.
Took the fucking breath out of the room when that fucking happened.
That is literally, he is encouraging people to go... Okay, I'll be clear. Poll watching is a legitimate thing you can do. You have to sign up for it, and you have to be approved. But when I hear Trump say it with all of his rhetoric and everything, that's not what he's talking about.
No, it is not.
He's using that word so he has a fallback, and he can say, oh, well, I'm just encouraging him to do this thing that's totally legal and totally fine. But you know what his supporters are hearing. His supporters are hearing, go to the polls and make sure nobody votes.
Make sure black people don't vote. Make sure that people I know won't agree with me don't vote.
Yeah, essentially.
That was
which is illegal.
Terrifying.
It's actually illegal. That's voter intimidation. It's actually illegal.
But the thing is, the law doesn't matter anymore, Andrew.
Well, no, it doesn't. I mean, he's already broken the law and been impeached for it. Nothing fucking happens because the Republicans are too fucking cowardly.
But there's
to
also the
stand
chance
up
that the Democrats may win the Senate.
Well, that would be good. That'd be very good.
It's a less likely chance. So as the poll state right now, Biden has a likely chance of beating Trump, just like Hillary had a likely chance of beating Trump.
Yeah, I will say Hillary's was by a lower margin. Though.
Was it though?
Biden has a much higher.
I thought that Hillary
yes.
had like 32%.
No, I have read a lot of articles on this. Biden has a much higher margin, like a higher probability of being accurate.
Okay, that's a different thing. Let's talk a bit about 2016 in comparison to now, and let's also talk about the reason why Biden has the vote in comparison to someone like Bernie, Warren, and anything else, which also restores a little faith in my hands. So the black vote came out in the primaries for Biden very hard. They were very pro-Biden, according to
Biden. Yeah, and Biden. I don't know if he has a great reputation, but he is associated with Obama, which obviously that's probably popular.
He has a better reputation with black voters than Hillary does, which
yes, and Hillary
reasons,
Hillary doesn't have a good reputation, which I think is the more important aspect of it.
Yes, and a lot of Hillary's reputation isn't her fault. I will say that too, just to be as fair as I can.
Well, whatever. I mean, Hillary ran a terrible campaign. I'm just going to say.
Well, Hillary ran a campaign as if she already knew she had it in the bag, which was not the smart way to go about it.
Yeah, especially when you know that you can win the popular vote and still lose. Mm-hmm. Which has happened 4 times now in like the past 20 years-ish or something.
And those are the only 4 times in history.
Or 30 years, I think. Yeah. I don't think it's the only 4 times.
I think it is the only 4 times in like history where it hasn't agreed, where you have the popular vote where it doesn't agree with the Electoral College.
Yeah, well, the Electoral College is
bullshit.
Absolutely has to go. It has to go. That's part of the reason that pushing Biden in, we can maybe strong-arm him into doing something like that.
Well, that's kind of what I think about. Like, LBJ was not a progressive president, but he passed a lot of progression ideals. Same with JFK. Like, a lot of centrist presidents have been forced into doing very progressive ideals and leaning socialist in a way that they didn't before.
The left wing and liberals, the left wing and rad libs or whatever, can strong-arm centrist presidents much better than they can
Donald Trump.
Far right, fascist, potentially. I mean,
Donald
depends
Trump
what your definition
of
fascist is.
Like,
in my definition, I would say yes.
Yes. Some
people are very strict about who gets to use that word, but my definition absolutely is.
And it's scary. And we want a place to vent, and it's fucking terrifying. And I know our Patreon feed isn't exactly ideal for that.
I mean, we've talked about it a bit on our actual podcast as well.
Yeah,
I mean
most people know where we fall on this.
That's the extent of our influence. That's the most we can do. I mean,
Andrew, can you believe that we have had 3 Halloweens as Musicals with Cheese? We have lived through 3 out of the 4 years of this election as a podcast.
Damn, I'm surprised we're still alive.
It's fucking crazy. Like, part of me wonders if we'll even be funny anymore if Biden wins. Like,
no, we can make fun of Biden. It's no problem.
That's the thing. Like, I am so excited to make fun of Biden once he's in office. He will be so easy fodder. I don't plan to not make fun of the president just because he supports some of the things I agree with.
Yeah, the thing is, we have to wait, because if we start making fun of him now,
The Proud Boys will take advantage of it.
Yeah, so you full support until you need to strong arm him into a different position.
Yes.
That's what we have to do.
And please vote. Please sign petitions. Please get out there. Like, I've already voted, but I will be like helping at the polls on my election day because I have the right to take a day off, and I'm taking it. I want you guys to try to make sure that you're getting as fair a vote from your communities, from your families, from anything else as possible. If you have Trump-supporting relatives, sit down and have that shitty conversation with them. I know
I've done it with all of them. It is absolutely pointless. There is literally no reason to do it. I'm not sure
I've had a couple conversations with right-leaning centrists, and they have changed their vote.
That's a little different.
Yes.
That's a little different. If you have a family member that is literally has Trump 2020 on their like Facebook page and just talks about how triggering the libs is so much fun, don't bother talking to that person. They will never change their mind. It does not matter what you say.
But
they will never.
I will say that I've seen a lot of like people in 2016 who were hard Trump people see what has happened and switch teams.
Well, again, I mean, so here's the thing, and this is where I'll just get into like far right rhetoric shit. Conservatives believe in democracy. Donald Trump does not believe in democracy.
No, he does not.
Has made that abundantly clear. He started out by talking about how mail-in ballots are fraud. Have you noticed that he dropped the word mail-in recently? Like, in the past couple weeks, he's not been saying mail-in ballots are fraud. He has just been saying the ballots are fraud. Have you noticed that?
Now that you've mentioned it, I now have.
I will say that maybe that's just shorthand, but to me, that seems like something else. That seems like a easing into basically just, hey, our entire democracy is a fraud. We shouldn't have it anymore.
But he did this. He's playing the 2016 handbook again. He did this the same thing where he's like, "It's rigged unless I win."
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's rigged unless I win. And then I think he even said that it was rigged when he did win. I believe he'd said that.
Yes, he did.
So
I would have won even less, or I would have lost if they had been even more successful, or something like that.
Yeah, it's like they just weren't. They didn't fraud hard enough, obviously. Like,
but we have to bring up the elephant in the room, and the reason why Trump is so scared to leave office. He will be indicted and arrested as soon as he's out of office, outside of the presidency.
I do not believe that's true.
I think he will at least be subpoenaed and forced to go to trial, at the very least.
I do not think Trump will ever see a jail cell.
I agree with that. I've made that point too. But I think he's terrified that he might.
I think he's in a lot of debt, and he's trying to pay it off, if I'm honest.
But where's he getting the money from?
Well, that's not really for us to know, is it? Who do you think might be giving him money?
I know his kids are up to some shit. Like, Eric, you can't trust him as far as you can throw him.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not a good situation, and he's not fit to be president.
Yes, and I wish we...
And you can say whatever you want about Biden. I do not care what you say about Biden. All I care about is Biden is not trying to destroy our democracy.
Let's frame it like this. Andrew, let's fast forward all the way back to 2008. Biden and John McCain. Obama and John McCain.
Yeah.
If John McCain had won, we would have been fine.
I mean, it still would have been bad.
I don't think it would have been bad. I still think we would have gotten out of the recession. He would have made a lot of smart decisions. He would have made a lot of intelligent decisions. On
a social level and on some other things, I think fundamentally we would always disagree with him.
Yes. But let's not forget... We would not be in a situation where a major question at the next debate is whether or not John McCain is going to step down. Or whether or not he supports or denounces white supremacy. John McCain...
Yeah, like that wouldn't be like a major talking point at... Like, John McCain would never be up on stage saying, "Proud Boys stand by."
No.
You know?
When someone said, like, Obama is a horrible piece of shit, he's like, no, we're not going to run a race like that. Don't bring up race. Like, that's not what we're doing.
Now, Do I think he may have been racist or supported racist policies or had racist in his group? Yes.
But
I do
Biden
think
has that. Like, we can't...
Yes, but everyone has that because welcome to fucking America.
Welcome to American
okay?
politics.
I'm sorry. Welcome to America. There's racists here.
A lot of them.
Okay, deal with it.
But the thing I am trying to say is, with all that being said, John McCain's last act as a politician before he died was keeping Obamacare so that we all have insurance. I have insurance right now because of Obamacare. And
yeah, I think what you're trying to say is that there's a difference between conservatives and fascists.
there's a difference between Donald Trump and everyone else. Donald Trump, Ted Cruz, Lindsey Graham, fucking what's that piece of shit's name? God damn it. Mitch McConnell. All those motherfuckers are the whole Mike Pence, different category. Then
yeah, well, I would say it's fascism versus neoconservatism, really.
Yes. And that's kind of what I'm trying to say. Like, this is a whole different ball game, and you got to take it.
It's a different ball game, folks. It's a different ball game, and it's a ball game that if we get into the last inning here, there might not be another game to play.
No, because did you hear Trump literally last night? He's like, I want to be running when I leave office in 8, 16, 12 years, like maybe more.
Yeah, that's see that's what I'm talking about, And everyone's like, oh, you guys are being alarmists. You guys are overblowing things.
No, we're not. Fuck you. Get out of here. And if you support Trump in any way, get the fuck away from us. We don't want to deal with you.
Yeah, like, if you can still support him after what he's done, like, you need to really rethink your values and shut off Fox News or OAN or whatever the hell you're watching.
Where the fuck do you even watch OAN?
I don't even know, man. I know that Trump probably watches it. That's where I'm sure he gets most of his news.
Because Fox and Friend became too liberal for him.
Well, yeah, I mean, Chris Wallace is on Fox. I mean, that's way too liberal.
Fucking Christ. Chris Wallace, the spineless, useless piece of shit out there, like, treating... It was so...
Chris Wallace literally holds his feet to the fire in one interview on, like, not even a hardball question, and suddenly Chris Wallace is like a lib. Like,
he was about to cry at the end of the debate. Did you hear that? He was like
Chris Wallace?
Yeah, he was like the substitute teacher that the asshole student treated so badly that he's gonna cry at the end of the school day.
Yeah. So, yeah, Fosse Verdon, everybody. We'll be back with more episodes.
Next week's going to be a little different. Next week, we're going to take a little break from Fosse Verdon. We're going to talk about something Andrew desperately wants to talk about.
That's true, but we will be back with Fosse Verdon right after that.
Yes.
And honestly, based on when those are going to be coming out, probably even more up-to-date election news.
Yeah. Consider our Fosse Verdon podcast now our fucking, oh my god, the world is ending podcast.
Apocacast.
I
don't know how to... We'll try branding it somehow. I think... I mean... I don't know.
Andrew, I actually wanted to pitch this at you.
We have some...
I wanted to pitch this at you to see how...
Sure, what do you got?
What would you think about us doing an election night live stream where at least we can all be together and joke and fuck around?
I can't, dude. I can't. I'm not going to be in one of those cult... do you remember those, like, the Young Turks, like, get freak out because Trump wins thing? I'm not going to be in one of those.
No, this would be patron only. Patron only live stream.
I don't know if I can do it. Like, just the prospect that, oh, man, like, I'm going to be, like...
Do you remember 2016?
Doomer. I do remember 2016.
That was a sad fucking night. I went to school the next day and it felt like a classmate had died.
See, 2016, I was less politically aware, so to be honest, I thought it was like, whatever. It's just another conservative in office.
Mm-hmm.
So, I was wrong. I would fully admit I was wrong, and there are many people like me that were also wrong, and I think that they know that they were wrong now too. So, we have that on our side.
Be better, guys. Fuck Melania Trump, fuck Donald Trump, fuck all his kids, fuck everyone in his fucking cabinet.
Don't actually fuck his kids. That's weird, and it plays into the QAnon thing. So don't do that.
The only person that can fuck Donald Trump's kids is Donald Trump.
Yeah, and he wants to.
Yeah, he really wants to fuck Ivanka for some reason.
All right.
Fosse Verdon. We'll see you guys next week for a special surprise.
for a special surprise, and hopefully no Doomer cast next next episode.
We'll see you next time on Patreon with Cheese.